Welcome to Improv for the Podcast. On this week's episode, we're joined by Carlease Burke, who will tell us all about her acting journey, comedy, and everything in between. Let's hit it! Welcome to Improv for the Podcast. I'm your host, Michael E. Evans, and tonight I'm joined by the incredibly talented sketch comedian, singer, actor, chef, pickleball player, Carlease Burke!
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
Oh, my God. That's... Okay. I accept.
Okay. Do you accept all those titles?
One I haven't earned quite yet.
Which one is that?
Pickleball player.
Pickleball player. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I'll admit, I only overheard you talking about pickleball, so I just slipped it in there.
Oh, sneaky.
Yeah. I'm an aspiring pickleball player myself.
Really?
I'm not good.
Okay, but you've played.
Not a real game.
Okay. You've held the paddle in your hand.
I've held the paddle. I went to one lesson.
Oh, you went to a lesson. Okay.
It was the teacher. Not everyone's a teacher. Let's just put it that way. So that's why I'm an aspiring player. The rules confuse me a little bit. I understand what the kitchen is.
Yes, I do know that. I know where that is.
My wife and I, we bought a half net. We don't have the whole net. We have a half one.
Wait, half this way or half? Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Half this way. So, it's aspiring.
Okay.
And that career has been on hold for like 6 months. So
okay. Well, I know that Matt and Maria Rogers, they play pickleball. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. And my friend Julie Rogers down in, no, it's not Julie Rogers, Julie Rice. My friend Julie Rice down in Palm Springs, she moved down there, retired, pickleball. And I was like, what is all this foolishness about pickleball? And I could care less until I had an audition to be a pickleball player in a movie. But I was also waiting to hear about knee replacement surgeries. So I've become interested in pickleball. I've become interested in pickleball myself lately. And I want to learn how to play. I was up for a part in a film where I would be a pickleball player. I hear Matt and Maria talking about it and how much fun they're having. And I was never really interested.
Yeah.
But then, even though I didn't get the part, I'm now interested in learning how to play pickleball. Yeah.
I think that's how it goes. Everyone starts off a skeptic with pickleball. I was the same way.
Okay.
And then just some flips at some point, whether it's a role in a film, maybe you accidentally see someone playing at the park.
Accidentally.
Yeah. And then it's just, you get the bug. Because do you know how to play tennis?
No.
Me neither. So
maybe that's why
I missed that.
Yeah, I tried. I thought at one time in my youth, it was the thing to do. And this was before, Venus and Serena became Venus and Serena.
Yeah, the greatest.
But it didn't work out. I'm not very athletic, to be honest with you. Most, sports, I'm not very good at. And people go, Carlease, please just sit down. Just never mind.
But you've got other gifts.
I do. Thank God.
I think that's how God keeps us humble, right? Okay. We got to be bad at some things.
At something, right?
Yeah. Otherwise,
I like that.
All right, Carlease. So for our listeners at home who might not know, what's your relationship to this place, IFTP?
IFTP. Well, my main connection is through Matt Moore.
Ah, yes.
And I'm not sure how I met Matt Moore. It's been years. It's been a long time. I was producing a comedy show in Long Beach at a coffee shop. I was producing a comedy show at a coffee shop in Long Beach, and the name of the show was Laugh a Latte. I had amazing comics come down, and somehow, I don't know if Matt ever came to the show, or maybe I had seen him somewhere and wanted him to perform at the show. I don't know if he ever did the show, but I became a Matt Moore fan. I didn't even think Matt liked me. I was just like, I don't think this guy likes me because I was always trying to get him to do the show.
Yeah.
And he was always busy. I guess. I don't know. But I always stayed in touch. He stayed in touch with me, and we've become really good friends over the years. And then I don't even know when he started IFTP, but I found out about the connection. And improv was something I was always interested in.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, I want to take a class. And so I took some classes with him. And as you know, I did the sketch class with you.
Yes, you were
And
fantastic.
Thank you. I wrote my first sketch. I always wanted to write a sketch. So, we just developed a friendship over the years, but it started with stand-up comedy. I don't even know. I'm sure we've been in the same show because he produced shows himself that I was a part of. But I was like, I wanted him to be in my show so bad. And I don't even know if it ever happened.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
Yeah. He mentioned there might have been a short film you were both in, or that.
Oh, that he produced?
Yes, that he produced.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that too.
I forgot the name. He's going to be mad at me. Not actually, but.
I forgot the
Silk?
name of it.
Is it anything to do with silk?
I feel like it is one word, though.
Yeah.
Silk.
He told me like an hour ago, and see, I already.
Salt? Hotel?
Maybe.
It was shot in a hotel.
Okay.
I know that.
That sounds like a Matt thing. Yeah.
Split? No. I don't know. I don't
correct
know.
us later.
But yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, Google it.
Yeah. Shout out Matt's short film.
Short film.
We all know the name.
Yeah, that I was in.
Yep. That Carlease was in. Yeah.
But he wrote it. He did.
Maybe. It's produced,
Did he not?
Wrote. He said it won an
didn't
award.
direct it.
Yeah.
Didn't he write it? I thought he wrote it.
I'm gonna say he wrote it.
I don't know if we should include this part.
No, let's keep it in.
Let's just keep this between us.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Matt's like, y'all did not do your homework.
Look, Matt, I had a lot of information going through my head. Then he started telling me some dad jokes, and I just all.
Matt's a great guy. And he, I'm so impressed. Like Matt moves in silence.
Yes.
Like, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Like he's so unassuming.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you read his resume or you hear about stuff that he's doing, and you're like, what? How? When did you do that?
Yeah, he's everywhere.
How did you do that? Like he does shows and he travels and he's amazing.
He's doing improv with businesses in all over the world.
I wasn't going to say
and
it.
he's teaching stand-up classes, and he's done sketch comedy with me.
Yep.
And improv classes. Oh my goodness. Yeah, he's performing. He's auditioning. Yeah, he's doing it all.
He's amazing. Yeah, he's a good guy too.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm kidding. No, I love Matt. He's the reason I'm here. So you know what?
Yeah,
I'm always so thankful for him. Yeah. All right, Carlease. So before we get into our interview,
okay,
we got to play some three things. But the good news is it's personal. It's related to you.
Okay.
I've done some homework. Spent many hours digging through Instagram, IMDb.
What?
No, more like 35 minutes.
Okay, because I was like, is there that much material?
No. I don't have time for that.
Okay, really?
We're in a busy world.
Yeah.
But, I try to do a little homework before my guests come on.
That makes sense.
So how it'll work, there's 3 categories. I'll name one category. You give me 3 things from that, and we'll move on to the next one.
Okay.
All right.
You ready? I hope I get them right because you said they're about me, right?
You will. And to our audience out there, please make sure you're fact-checking. Check out Carlease Burke's IMDb page. Check out the biography there. No, it's not going to be that specific.
Okay.
Don't worry.
I'm going to relax. I'm just going to relax.
Make sure to watch her comedy reel from 2021 as well.
Oh, Lord jeez. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, you can watch that.
I really enjoyed that comedy reel.
I'm proud of that.
Yeah,
I'm very proud.
There's some good moments in there.
Yeah.
You were on Curb. That's so cool.
Curb.
So cool.
You know what? I don't mean to stop the flow.
No, stop the flow.
But you just reminded me. Like I'm always saying I'm not good at improv.
Yeah, wait, you've been on Curb.
I've been on Curb. That's improv.
Yeah.
Like the audition is improv.
Yeah.
And when you shoot, it's improv.
Yeah.
With the guy.
Yeah, Larry David. Yeah, you were in a scene on Curb with Larry David. That's that's improv.
That's it. What?
Yeah, wait, I didn't even
see.
Yeah, Carlease, you've got all the.
So I can't say that anymore.
No.
I cannot disown improv anymore.
That is the improv show.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
I got this.
There
Come
you go.
on. Come
You
on
got
with the
it.
3 things.
You got it. Yeah, just Larry David, you know.
Was that one of the 3 things? No.
It wasn't, but all right, here we go. Are you ready?
I am ready.
All right. These are 3 things. First category, Stephen King novels.
Mr. Mercedes.
1.
Revival.
2.
Carrie.
3.
I love
Very nice.
Stephen King.
See, easy.
They're going to get harder,
They're gonna,
people.
Not really.
Okay, all right.
I don't know. We'll see. Second category, recipes you love to make.
Potato salad.
1.
Coleslaw.
2. Ooh.
And something I don't know what to call it. It's pastry, pastry with brie inside.
Oh, that sounds like a delicious treat. That's what I'll say.
Very delicious.
3. Ooh, okay. Not bad. All right. Last category. Characters you've played.
Roberta Bob in Shameless.
1.
Oh God, was it Doreen in Child's Play?
2.
And Grandma Maya in Mixed Dish.
3. These are 3 things.
3 things.
Easy.
I did it.
See, you nailed it. All right. We're going to circle back on a couple of those categories. Carlease, why did I ask you about Stephen King?
Why?
Yeah, why?
Because I told you that he is my favorite author.
Mm-hmm.
I love Stephen King novels. And actually, now that I'm visualizing my bookshelf, I probably have more Stephen King books than any other author. I've probably read more Stephen King books than any other author, and I won't give them away.
You should keep them.
I just like them, and I want him to hire me for one of his films or TV series. I would love that, Stephen King. Why am I looking into the microphone?
I don't know.
Because he's in there.
He might be. He could be. We don't know that whether or not he listens. So
Yeah.
you know.
He could be listening, watching.
Yeah.
Somebody out there knows him. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's true. There's always a chance.
My agent is BRS Gage. Just saying.
Get Mr. King on the phone. Now, question for you. Say there was someone in this room who has not read a Stephen King novel. Maybe they've seen some of his movies based off the books. But maybe they're interested in reading a little more fiction this year. Maybe they'd like a recommendation of where to start.
Where to start?
This person, they might be in this room.
With Stephen King. Mm-hmm. Mr. Mercedes.
Mr. Mercedes. Okay.
It's a trilogy.
Oh, okay.
Can't remember the name of the main character. He's a retired detective. It does involve a Mercedes.
Ooh.
And of course, death and blood and weirdness.
Never mind then. No, I'm kidding.
You don't like that kind of stuff?
I'm kidding. No, I do.
Yeah.
I find it interesting.
And it was a TV series as well. So
right.
you could start with the series maybe if you'd like. I don't usually like to do that though.
Yeah,
I like to read and then see the film.
The same way. Yeah. So read the book first, then check out whatever adaptation there is.
Mr. Mercedes. That's my current favorite. Although, and actually, I started out early in the Carrie years and Cujo and la 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 la, and then I think I probably fell off a little bit. Not because I didn't continue to like him, but I don't know why. And then I became obsessed with him again.
Enraptured.
I like that word. Yeah. Okay. Enraptured. Yeah.
Well, thank you for the recommendation, Mr. Mercedes.
Yeah.
I read a lot of nonfiction, so I was like, okay, I need to I like fiction books. I just, in my recent years, haven't read any, so.
That's what happened to me.
Need to find a way to get back in.
Yeah, I got into self-help and then nonfiction.
Been doing a lot of that.
And I really do have to, I don't want to say force myself, make an effort, carve out time and just decide you are going to read a novel, which I heard just the other day. Actually, I read reading a novel is good for your memory because it forces you to keep up with characters, keep the plot in your head, da-da-da-da. Yeah.
Yeah. Because, you have to recall those details every time you sit down and read the next chapter.
Exactly. Which brings me to one of the reasons why I love Stephen King is because you can't, stop.
Yeah.
It's like you can't. I can read his book so quickly because I go, okay, it's 8:30, one more chapter. And you get to the end. I don't know how he does it, But you get to the end of the chapter and you can't put it, you have to turn the page.
You got to know.
I just want to know what's going to happen. And then next thing you know, it's 9:30. And you've read 2 more chapters. Yeah. He's amazing. He's good. I really like him. I like that style too.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I gotta check out Mr. Mercedes then.
Maybe. Oh yeah, you could, because Mr. Mercedes is good. Like I said, it's a trilogy, but I can't think of one. Oh, actually, I read one. No, it wasn't Revival. I can't remember the name of it. It was a little on the heavy side for me, but it still kept me interested. It was a book that I picked up on a cruise ship. I was on a cruise ship, and I don't know how you can get bored on a cruise ship.
Yeah, you think but they got everything.
I don't know. Something was happening, and I was like, I need to go to the library. I need to get a book. And I went looking for Stephen King, and I can't remember. It's one of his newer ones.
Okay.
It's sort of kind of like a fantasy situation. It was interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, it was good.
Okay.
Not my favorite, but, I wish I could remember the name, but it's okay.
No worries. All right. Next category. I asked you about recipes. Why do you think I did that?
Because you said you were peeking around on my Instagram, and I'm always posting recipes and food that I made, and maybe you saw my Sunday dinner series?
I may have. I did a big scroll down because I do it on the computer, and I saw, looking over the grid, everything on there.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I saw the Sunday dinner series specifically. I actually saw you mention you loved trying recipes in your IMDb bio. And I was like, ooh, I'm going to ask about that.
Okay.
That's fun.
So did you see a recipe that you can remember in my grid, or just know that I like to cook?
I know that you like to cook, recipes. But I may have seen a picture. I think it was maybe like a chicken breast wrapped in bacon, maybe. Is that crazy? It might have been too quick of a glance. I might be way off.
No, because I was thinking I did a tuna steak wrapped in prosciutto recently.
Okay, that's maybe what I saw.
But I didn't post it.
Oh, then never mind. That's not what I saw. Yeah, I think this was from a while ago. I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, and I don't believe I've ever done chicken wrapped in bacon.
Okay.
No, but, there's a lot on there.
It's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like bacon.
Yeah.
Love chicken.
There you go.
Now I'm going to go home and
there you go.
find a chicken wrapped in bacon recipe.
Do it.
And bring it to you.
Do it. It's a little lemon pepper on there.
Oh, look at you. Yeah. Do you cook?
A little. I got some, that's one of my go-tos of like, this is a meal that I like to make. Not often, but on occasion. I want to get better. Decent. Okay. But
you have a family, right? You have...
Not yet. Just a wife.
I have a wife. Okay.
Yeah, that's down the line.
Okay. There'll be some babies.
Yeah.
Some babies coming soon.
Next couple of years. That's the plan.
And then you can cook for them.
Exactly. Yeah. I got to do a little more than dino nuggets,
What is that? Is that a snack?
That's like dinosaur-shaped chicken nuggets.
Oh, where do you get those from?
They got them at the grocery store, I think. Most grocery stores have them.
See?
Costco,
I know nothing about that.
That's all right.
It's okay.
Yeah. But you're a cook. You don't need to. There you go. Okay. Well, I'm going to ask you one more recipe question.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you about the coleslaw. Do you have, what makes your coleslaw your coleslaw?
Well, I just made a batch, and it's a new coleslaw recipe. Before this recipe, I would just get shredded lettuce already. I know how to make coleslaw. Yeah. Shredded.
It's like, interesting start.
Okay, that's what's special about your coleslaw.
Like, there you go.
It's not cabbage. I would get already shredded, in the bag, cabbage, and just get, I think it was Hidden Valley coleslaw dressing. It's the best potluck dish you could ever have.
Yeah.
And you just mix it together. It's delicious.
Yeah, always a hit.
Delicious. But then I went to Savannah and I took a cooking class and I learned how to make coleslaw a different way. And it is so good. But it's good because there's sugar in it. There's
that'll do it.
A lot of sugar. There's also vinegar.
Oh, I like a vinegary.
And a little bit of oil and some celery seed.
Oh.
But it is so good. And it lasts a long time.
Oh, so let's see it. You're just selling it.
Yeah, it's really, and I still have some. Actually, I had it for dinner before I came here tonight.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was like, I'm not going to eat it all. I want to save some.
You're going to preserve it.
Yeah, but it's good.
I mean, that sounds pretty good. So a little sweet, but you get that vinegar taste.
Yeah. Ooh. It's good.
I like the sound of that. Yeah. Yeah, I like, there's like the traditional kind of cream-based coleslaws, but it's nice to try a little variation.
Yeah, I fell in love with this. It's called, I think the cooking teacher called it the long haul, Phyllis's long haul coleslaw, because I believe it was his mother's recipe. But it's really good.
It's a family recipe, so it's got to be good.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, things to think about. No. I had dinner. I don't even think about coleslaw. It sounds really good. All right. That last category. I asked you about favorite characters you played. Why'd I ask you about some of your favorite characters, do you think?
Why?
Yeah, why? That's not an easy question.
I don't know. Yeah, you'll have to tell me why.
Well, maybe for our listeners or viewers who don't know, Carlease has an incredible career. You've been in a number of different huge shows. So many guest starring roles that you've had. iCarly, Curb Your Enthusiasm. There's so many. Abbott Elementary recently.
Oh gosh, that's my most recent TV credit.
I love that show.
Yeah,
so
I need to get that.
I was like, oh my gosh, you were in Sheryl Lee Randolph, right?
Sheryl Lee Ralph.
Yeah,
Ralph,
not Randolph. Who's Randolph?
You got the initials right.
Yeah. So you're in the choir with her, right?
Yeah. Well, I was the choir director. Yeah, I was mean to her.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, she didn't deserve it, but my character was.
Yeah.
I played a really fun joke on her on set. Though. Yeah, and we have the same birthday.
Really?
And I don't know if I'm gonna leave that. I'm just gonna leave it there. We have the same birthday.
Yeah, you don't have to say when. Yeah.
I wasn't gonna say the number, the year in number. Well, I've just said it's the same year. And that's all I'm going to say.
There you go. That's really cool. And I listed like 3 shows, but you've been in movies, in TV shows, you've done stage acting.
Oh my God. I started in stage in New York, community theater. Yeah.
So let's take it there.
Uh-oh. So
you've had a long and storied career with, and you're still doing such great work now. I mean, you did a sketch show here, but then, you're doing... I know you have a few upcoming projects I saw, and that's just on IMDb, so who knows? You got some
really?
Stuff.
Wait, you know what? There's this credit on IMDb.
Some things pop up. Yeah.
Under upcoming, and I was cast in this project, and that's it.
Oh, no.
It was a long time ago, and I never shot anything. Never
but it's still
table read.
Oh no!
And I don't think it's gonna ever get made.
Oh,
but it's upcoming, which I like though. Yeah. I do like that.
Yeah.
To go to. I want people to go to my IMDb page. Yeah. My goal. Most people. Most people's goals are to just get credits on IMDb. Yeah. Okay, I've got a lot of those. Yeah. My IMDb goal is to have 5 in red. 5 upcoming, in production, 5 at the top of the list. That's my goal.
Yeah. Well, I don't mean to make you jealous, but I had a very small, insignificant part in a low-budget feature film back in 2017. And it still says post-production.
See?
I don't think it's ever coming
out. Right?
I got paid, shot, did all that, left.
Yeah.
And now, gosh, 8 years later.
I know, right? It's
I don't think we're ever going to see this movie.
You're not going to get any residuals.
No. That's it.
I did a film. I have to check, too. I did a film... I think it was, I can't remember. Everything's usually now before or after during the pandemic.
Right.
I think this might have been
when
things were kind of smoothing out. So maybe this was a couple of years ago. Yeah, it does feel right that it was a couple of years ago. And I did this film that was halted for non-payment. That's all I'm going to say. And it was shot in Syracuse. And... I believe it's on my IMDb page. I don't know under what category, but it's there.
Yeah.
But even and they want me to be in the film again, and I won't be.
Yeah.
But I don't think there is a film, and I don't think there's ever going to be a film.
Yeah.
But it's there.
Yeah.
And I'm in it, and I think there was articles.
Wow. Yeah.
Anyway, so you have those little things on your IMDb.
Sitting there.
Can I just delete that
and clear that off?
At least bury it somewhere, not at the top.
But miscellaneous, whatever.
Some separate category. We're not sure about these.
Yeah, just like this may have been released. Yeah.
Did you see this anyway?
Yeah, it's not your fault if it's not released. It's
not. I did do the work.
Yeah,
but the irony is, I did one scene. I had a lot of scenes in this film, but I did one. So even if they do go back and do it, it would be very easy to replace me. But but it's just not going to be the same. It was in Syracuse in a forest. And it was almost winter, but it wasn't really winter. And they were talking about going back at some point, but it would have been like snow, and there was no snow.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
It was a mess.
It's a mess. Yeah.
It was a mess.
Yeah. Best to leave it in the past, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I love working.
Yeah.
I do love working. I really do.
That's good.
It's my happy place.
That's good. I mean, you got to love your work. You got to love what you do.
Yeah, I do.
So I want to take it back, Carlease, to childhood.
Oh, no,
youth.
don't
You're growing
do that.
up. We're going to go through everything. No. But I want to go back to when you first started acting or performing, kind of maybe that first moment you had where you're like, I think there's something here. I think I want to do this. When you were a baby.
Born.
Wow. You knew. You're like, life is a performance.
I was very dramatic.
Life's a stage, right? That's Shakespeare. So
I do think I was born dramatic and to be an actress. However, my parents did not agree with that. So I always had to kind of find my way into the fun, creative parts of life, whether it be at camp or school or church. I would always gravitate to wherever there was a stage and something was happening. Fashion shows, monologues, I think we actually did a play in somebody's garage one time on the block, so I was involved in that. But my parents just not, especially my mom, I think. I don't want to mom bash.
Yeah.
But she seemed to be the one that had the biggest problem with it. Although my father made some comments a couple of times too that made me know that he wasn't really impressed with that choice.
Yeah.
So I just did what I could, like I said, in camp and school and church. And finally, I went to school, I went to college. I was headed toward becoming a lawyer. Believe it or not, I majored in pre-law, even though I wanted to major in theater arts. But again, my parents said no, and they were paying for it. Yeah. So, what are you going to do?
Pick something practical, right?
Well, my mom wanted me to be a teacher, but I believe it was because she wanted to be a teacher. But she opted to be a wife, even though she worked. But I think she felt, and remember, we're talking a long time ago, she felt she had to choose between being a wife or a teacher.
Yeah.
No, not being because you needed the education,
right?
To be So
school, get your degree, credential, all of those things.
So I don't think she thought she could be a wife and continue to go to school as well. And she was a good wife and a good mom, and she had a job, but she still worked.
Yeah,
she continued to work. She did real estate. She worked for the Board of Education of the city of New York. That's where she retired from. And my father wanted her to stay home and be a housewife. He's like, if I can't take care of the family on my salary, then I don't know. There's no rest of that sentence. Yeah. But that was his vision.
Yeah.
And my mom wanted things. She wanted stuff.
Yeah.
And so she was like, well, no, I need to work and contribute to the family, which it worked out fine.
Yeah.
It was, and my dad was very, he was a very low key kind of man, so he didn't need a whole lot of stuff. But my mom wanted to travel, and she had this huge walk-in closet. She was very fashionable.
You got to fill the walk-in closet.
She had to fill that walk-in.
You got to be able to walk into something. Yeah.
Yeah, she wanted a house. So they worked together, a good team, and they accomplished all of those things.
Yeah.
As well as sending me to college, but they just didn't want me to major in theater.
Yeah.
So, but I snuck in a class every semester.
There you go.
It wasn't theater. I didn't start acting until my senior year. I believe it was my last semester, and I did this killer scene from Pearlie, the play Pearlie. I saw it on Broadway with Melba Moore. Oh, we're going back. Yeah. We're going probably before you were born, maybe. I'm not sure. But
we don't have to put a year on it.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to say anything. So that was it. That was it for me. I was like, no, that's what I want to do. But so the play, the scene that I did in college, my classmates were like, so, oh my God, what are you going to take next semester? And I was like, well, I'm graduating. And they're like, you're graduating? Like, you're not a theater major? And I was like, no, I majored in pre-law, and, I'm trying to go to law school and da-da-da-da-da. And they're like, what? They were so confused.
Yeah.
So, I got out of college. I broke out. No, I actually graduated. And then I felt like, because of that response and because I knew how good I was.
Yeah, that validation. Right?
I felt like, exactly. And I thought, I'm not going to waste my time and my parents' money to go to law school, because that's not what I really want to do.
Yeah.
So that's when I started doing theater and projects like out in the real world. I started auditioning for things and getting jobs and doing community theater and doing a bunch of plays. And then one of the plays that I did for community theater went to off Broadway. Off Broadway.
That's only 2 offs. That's pretty close.
St. Mark's Playhouse. Yeah. Off Broadway. I did children's theater and all of that. And I was like, yep, this is it. This is what I want to do.
Yeah.
But so my dad passed away in 1980. I worked for an advertising agency before that while I was working at the advertising, because I was always trying to get close to TV, film, or something.
Find a way to be around
Find a way to be a part of it. Because I used to even say that. I was like, I don't care what I do. It's going to be in the entertainment industry. Even as a lawyer, I was like, okay, all right, I'm doing this law thing. What does an entertainment lawyer do?
Yeah.
That would have been my focus probably, I'm glad I didn't do it though. Yeah. But, where was I?
Children's theater, off Broadway.
So I graduated and I'm doing off Broadway, and and then I just kept putting one foot in front of the other. My father, like I said, he had passed away, and I was not living at home, but I went back home to live with my mom, and something inside me said, if you're going to do this, you're probably going to have to get away from your mom and get out of the house and maybe move far away. Because, no one else in my family was in theater. I didn't really have a lot of support. I did have a mentor, my childhood dentist. Was one of my mentors.
I love that.
Because he said, go for it, baby. If that's what you want to do.
I know your teeth and I know your heart.
Yeah, he was the family dentist. Oh, and I would talk to him and go, why won't my mom, support me in this? Why? What? And he said, you got to do what you want to do, to go for it. And he dated a woman in college who had a daughter that was doing very well and happened to be in a Broadway show with Alexis Smith at the time. So we connected, and I was just like the biggest groupie. I just was like, oh, and she lived in California. So I started visiting her, and I was like, what is it like? And I want to be an actress. Make a long story short, I did eventually, after working on a cruise ship, because I kept taking all these theater jobs out of Backstage. That's where we got our jobs from at the time. And I kept taking all these theater jobs that would take me away from home. Children's theater was like a little tour up and down the East Coast. And then I did a cruise ship. And the cruise ship came out to California. And that's when I reconnected with the young lady I was talking about from the Broadway play. And then one thing led to another, and I moved here in 1985. Yeah. So
get to Los Angeles.
40 years ago, Michael. 40 years ago. So that was the beginning of the Hollywood part of my story.
Hollywood part of your story. Yeah. And I mean, you're still here.
I'm still here.
Yeah.
I'm still here.
You're in Hollywood.
I'm in Hollywood. And I haven't achieved all of the goals that I still have. But I have to, as you know, and many people acknowledge, I have to acknowledge the successes that I've had.
Yeah. Should.
So, all my mother ever wanted was for me to have a job that had benefits. And for her, that was a civil service job, But I have a job that provided benefits. I get residuals, that's passive income. I have health benefits, and I have retirement. And I have Social Security.
Yeah.
Because of the money that I put in from all the work that I've done over the years as an actress. But I understand, though. I tried not to be too hard on my mom because she didn't have that experience.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know people in the industry, and people think that if you're not an A-list celebrity, you're a background player.
Yeah.
They don't know about all the jobs in between,
Yeah.
and that you can be a working actor. I'm not Beyonce famous, but I'm double take at Costco famous.
That's pretty good.
So, exactly. I've had that happen.
Yeah.
Yes. So I can't complain. I can't complain. I've accomplished a lot, and I'm proud of my work. And yes, there are some things that I still want to do.
Yeah.
But in a way, I feel like I don't have control over what's going to happen. So I have to find joy in the things that I enjoy and make my own, I'm going to be creative no matter what I'm doing, no matter where I am. And so I'm just at a point right now because I'm of a certain age where I'm looking at, what do I really want to do for the rest of my life? Because I love the work. I'm not so crazy about the current state of auditioning. And have a little bit of an attitude about why am I still auditioning? Don't these people know who I am?
Yeah. You've got the experience.
Come on now, really? And I've got reels.
You've got reels. You've got the resume. I'm sure you're known by many casting directors. You have those relationships. I'm sure your network is strong.
I would like to think so.
Yeah.
But it feels like something's shifted. I don't know. I don't know. And that's the thing about this industry. There is a lot of uncertainty.
Yeah.
You go from job to job to job. I've been on one series. I did do one whole season, 13 episodes. And I hear it just started airing on Roku again. It's called Crowded.
I've heard that name. Yeah.
But when you've had that experience, you're just like, first of all, you feel like, I've made it. And then you think every other job is going to be a series.
Yeah.
And it's not.
Yeah.
So you start going, well, was that a fluke? I can't believe that, I'm not going to be able to do that again.
Yeah.
But how do I do that if I'm not writing, producing, casting? I mean, I don't know. I feel, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just an odd place to be in after so many years.
Yeah. It's like all these things have to perfectly fall into place.
Yeah. It's still like I feel like I still have to prove myself, but it's really not all about me at all.
Yeah.
There's so many other factors involved in every aspect of this industry, So, and I love to travel too. I'm starting to like travel more.
Yeah.
I love seeing the world. And why? Because of the food.
Yeah. Oh my. Well, that's why you travel, right?
I love, me and my recipes, right? So
what a great way to learn new recipes.
Yeah.
Travel somewhere, try a new cuisine.
Always.
Get the recipe.
Everywhere I go, I take my hula hoop and I take a cooking class.
Wait, you take a hula hoop with you while you travel?
Yeah.
No way.
No, I'm not kidding.
Really?
You could take it apart. The polyurethane, I think that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
Polyurethane. You can take it apart and then you double it, right? And then you can take a bigger tube and attach it and then put painter's tape around and it'll fit in your suitcase and off you go.
Okay. I think I've only ever seen like the plastic hula hoops.
Oh, yeah.
They don't do that. They're not.
Well, they do have travel hoops like that as well. Those heavy ones.
Yeah.
They have adult size hoops. Like
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the kind you buy at Walmart for kids. These are grown up.
Yeah, serious
hoops. And they do have travel hoops where they come apart in like about 4 or 5
cool.
sections.
Yeah,
So that's the waist hooping one. But then there's other smaller hoops where you can do all these tricks.
Yeah, with your arms and
Yeah. So I do that too. You didn't see that on my IG page?
I think. No, I spent more time on the IMDb. I think I got lost. I got lost in there. That's why I was watching a couple reels. You know, that you had, and I was like, oh, nice.
Yeah.
And then I was on your SoundCloud, and then
You went to Sound. That's one of my newest things.
Yeah,
You heard me sing.
You had
then.
a couple songs in there. You have a great voice.
Thank you. That's one. Remember, I was just saying about finding the joy in things that I can control and exploring the gifts that I have and doing things that aren't dependent on other people.
Yes.
Hiring me.
Yeah.
Singing is one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been working on my singing. I'm a Lindy Hopper. So that's the swing dance era. Yeah. And I've been learning how to sing with a live band. And
that's fun.
Yeah. And I made a reel also because I did a commercial a couple of years not last Christmas, but the Christmas before last. And I met a session singer. So we worked on a reel. So I now have a demo reel of all these different types of songs so that I could sing in commercials and film and television.
Yeah.
If, I'm ready. I don't know who to pitch them to, but I'm ready.
But you're ready.
I'm ready.
And that's right. They say luck is preparation meets opportunity, right? So it's your job to handle the preparation, and you are.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I have a friend who he is working to be a working actor. Let's see, he gets gigs, but it's been inconsistent, right? Especially since COVID, things have slowed down.
It sure has.
Yeah, and he very much has the same philosophy as you, where it's like, I can't always control the work that's happening, but I can control the work that I do on my own. Exactly. And he'll make videos and put them online. He'll write monologues for characters he's played on TV shows and kind of flesh them out a little more and post them. Yeah.
That is a great idea.
Yeah, like he was just on I don't know if you heard about the HBO show The Penguin.
I've heard about it, but I don't know a lot about it.
Yeah, so it's based in the Batman universe, and he plays one of the gangsters in that show. Oh. And he was like, look, I really love my character. Season 1 did really well critically. They don't know about a season 2 yet, right? But he was like, I love my character, so he wrote a monologue for that character and then just posted it, shared it with his agent, just because he's like, well, I want to be doing something.
I like that.
And I thought that was a great idea.
Yeah, that is a good idea.
Yeah.
That's, I tried doing the social media thing.
Yeah.
Like the consistent social media thing.
Grind. Yeah.
It really is. It's a full-time job. I mean, I see why people get monetized on YouTube because it's a job.
Yes.
And again, I do this because I can, being an actor and an entertainer, but I also do it for the joy of it.
Yeah.
Because I love it. And I would love to leave all that other production stuff to somebody else and just let me show up and do what I do.
Yeah.
And do what you're paying me to do. But that influencer and doing the videos and self-taping has become so daunting. Yeah. It's like, and I try to psych myself into, enjoying it. And I know I'm going to enjoy doing the job. There's no question. Yeah. But the pre-stuff has just changed so much.
Yeah, it's getting there. It's just, it's a hassle.
I don't want to say that, but it's challenging. And it also feels like, and I'm not trying to say that anybody's doing this on purpose, but it's like a lack of appreciation because you're in your room by yourself.
Yeah.
You don't even have an audience of a casting director or an assistant or someone running the camera, or like you're just doing it in a vacuum. You have no, this isn't a wine fest. I'm just being honest.
It's the reality.
I have been in this business for 40 years.
Yeah.
So I know what I've done and how I've accomplished what I've accomplished up to now.
Yeah.
Anyone coming into the industry now, they don't know about all that stuff. So they jump in and they go, oh, self-tape? Well, teach me how to self-tape. Teach me how to do this. Teach me how to do a podcast. Teach me, because that's what it is now. But it wasn't always like that. And as you get older, we get set in our ways. Mm-hmm. And we're like, well, I don't want to change. Yeah. I don't like all this techie stuff. I don't, but you have to learn how to edit. You have to learn all these things. But what you're getting hired to do is the gift that you have. And that part comes easily. Yeah. That you could do, or I could do all day, every day. Mm-hmm. The saddest words that I hear on any set are, "That's a wrap on Carlease." I hate hearing that. Yeah. I hate it.
Yeah. Oh, that means it's over.
That means it's over.
You got to start the process all over again.
Over again.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Like when I was on that series, it felt so good to have a job to go to every day.
Yeah.
Not have to audition, even though we weren't even doing the self-tape thing. Yeah. And my job was at Universal. And every morning when I would drive under that Universal sign, I'd be like, thank you, Jesus. Thank you for this opportunity. I was like a child at Christmas time every day.
Yeah.
Every day. Oh, man, that was great.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think, too, to comment just on your experience of how auditions have shifted. I have very little experience, but I know I was there for the shift, like before COVID, going in person, that opportunity to set the tone in the room, right? When you come in, you're meeting the casting director, whoever, the person, the reader, all that. It's they have a chance to experience you, who you are as a person, and what kind of energy you bring on set in front of the camera as well as behind the camera, right? Yep. And I think that's just with a self-tape, it's a different thing that's being looked for, I guess. It's not the same as
we don't even really know though.
Yeah.
We don't know. We don't get any adjustments. We don't, it's so, I don't know. It's so isolating. It feels. Yeah. Coming out of an isolated situation such as COVID. Yeah. And then you're like, we're just going to keep doing it this way. What? Yeah. I actually did a commercial in my house during COVID on my iPhone.
Oh my gosh,
that
really?
Aired. Huh. That it was for Sling TV, I think it was.
Yeah. I heard of them. They were just like, look, we're not gonna you got a phone, right?
Oh man, but it was very complicated, and and I think there were 5 women. Of course, we were all in our own homes, and I knew one of them already, so we chatted about it, and we were like in tears. Yeah. We were literally not on camera, obviously, but the process of trying to make that happen was like, oh my God. And I'm sure production was trying to figure it out as well. And
how can we edit this together? Yeah.
And then they would tell you, like, okay, so your segment's going to be at 12. So you'd find a place in your house where the light was perfect. Because it wasn't just that you couldn't use your ring light. They wanted it. Oops, excuse me. Can you hear that?
Oh, that's fine.
It wasn't like you couldn't use your ring light, but they had already chosen the area of your home where they wanted it to be. So if the ring light plus the natural light wasn't matching, then it didn't look right. Yeah. And so they say 12 o'clock, we're going to come to you. And now it's 4. And you're like,
it's not the same. It's the sun.
Yeah. The sun's over there now.
Yeah, nothing you can do about that.
It was crazy. It aired, it was one of those specialty spots, meaning it was Mother's Day. So it got, a very small run. Yeah. But, it was what it was. We got our residuals. And okay, hope we don't have to do that again. But then you want to work, right? Like when I get the auditions, I don't want to feel like, oh God, because that's an opportunity to get a job.
Yeah.
So it's become so like mushy right now.
Yeah. And I imagine too, I think a self-tape feels so far removed from what it actually is. Because it's like, again, like you said, it's just you. You're by yourself in a room. You got your phone on a tripod or whatever. You got the ring light. Yeah.
Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Yeah. I shouldn't have done that.
No. You could do that.
Cut it out.
Yeah. But it's that whole process of setting it up. Maybe you give yourself a little background, little blue screen or whatever.
Yeah. I painted one of my walls blue.
Yeah.
Light blue. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah. It's just so different from what you hope the job is.
Yeah. And it takes so much longer.
Yeah.
Get in your car and I'm like, oh, I'm going to Radford. Okay, great. I'll stop by Jones on 3rd, get a sandwich, pick up my cleaning from da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
Then I'll hit the grocery store. So you go, well, it's part of your day. It's on your list of things to do.
Yeah.
And now you're just like, I'm in my house.
Yeah.
Okay, haven't been out for 3 days.
Yeah.
But, okay, let's do this.
Yeah.
Move the furniture, set everything up. But I'm not complaining, Lord. I'm not complaining. I welcome all opportunities, but it is an attitude adjustment.
Yeah, it feels different.
That's what I'll say.
And change is always difficult. We don't like change as humans, I think, because change is discomfort, right?
Yeah, we get comfortable.
Yeah.
And we see results too.
Yeah.
Like especially if you're in a routine and like I knew how to do it, the audition thing before. I knew like there was a certain, you have it figured out. You go to the audition and like I said, then you do your errands and you come home and you cook your dinner and you forget about it. You either get it or you don't. Mm-hmm. But now it's like the whole day, and then it's just different. I'm not complaining. Yeah. For those of you who want to be in this industry, do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. I'm not trying to discourage anybody. I'm not whining or complaining. It's just an observation. Yeah. And it's my story. It's where I am on my journey.
Yeah. And you've seen how it's changed. And I think to your credit, as you've said multiple times, right? It's like, although the process of auditioning has changed, right? It's all about your attitude because every audition is an opportunity, right? Yep. And it's going to be your attitude that sets you apart in your work, right?
Yeah.
You're like, you know what? I don't always want to sit in front of my iPhone and read these sides, but I do it because I know what it means or what it could lead to.
And at the end of the day or the audition, I always feel better.
Yeah.
I always feel like I've done my best.
Yeah.
That was fun. I'll have a fun reader. And I sit down and I edit, which I now know how to do.
Yeah.
So now when I travel, I take, footage and I edit and I haven't done the travel videos yet, but I'm planning on putting some travel videos together. And I know how to do that now. I've done, on my YouTube page, I have an actor's library where I review books. Now, there's not a lot of editing involved, but I will set up the camera and put on makeup and, set my little place, and I'll review books such as Mr. Mercedes. That's on my playlist.
I'll have to read it first.
You could do, or you could, maybe, I don't know. Maybe if you want to read it first or look at my review. No, I might offer some spoiler alerts.
That's what I was going to say. I don't want to.
Yeah, no. Yeah, then we can compare notes.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be interesting. That's fun. I like that. Dang, I missed that in my research.
Oh, yeah, you didn't go to YouTube.
No.
I have some stuff on there. I have a lot of content, but I'm not consistent. And I don't push. I don't, I'll drop like, oh, I did a video.
Yeah, make stuff when you want to.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't want to be, regimented about it. Yeah. But that's what it takes to monetize.
Yeah. I think that can suck the joy out of it sometimes too. Yeah. Maybe not for everyone.
Not for everybody. Yeah. I think there are people who really enjoy it. They found their groove.
Yeah. They can get in a routine and it just kind of works.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying not to play the age card, but I remember I had a friend, and I say had because she's one of my angels now, dear Carol Ann Susie. And she was the voice of Howard's mom on The Big Bang Theory.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And I had so many ideas like, we should do this and we should do that. And she would always say, not interested. And I used to go, oh my God, like, how can you be, and in my head, I'm like, I was judging, right?
Yeah.
How can you be an actress and you don't you want to, like create your own and we could do this and that. And now I'm like, not interested. Things will happen and I'm just like, you know what? It sounds nice in theory, but no, I'd rather travel.
Yeah.
I'd rather cook a chicken with bacon.
Yeah, now we're talking. Now we're talking, Carlease. So I wanted to take it back to you moved to LA and just thinking about what were kind of as you were getting started in the industry, you know, probably those first steps of going to auditions, getting an agent, things like that. What were, I guess, kind of when did you figure out you moved to LA, you wanted to be a working actor?
Correct.
But what did it take for you to get to that point? Like, okay, I think I've got this now. Like, because I know, I guess there's always an element of uncertainty, right, to the whole thing. You book a job,
it never
the job
goes
finishes,
away.
Never goes away.
It never goes away.
Yeah.
And well, here's the thing: when you're younger, I think, and you haven't had the experience. Let me just speak from my point of view.
Yeah,
I was young when I moved here. I mean, I wasn't in my 20s. I may have been 29, and I hit the ground running. You know, I was like, well, what do I need to do? You need to get an agent. Okay. You know, I'll get an agent. Yeah. You need, do some theater. Okay. And I joined West Coast Ensemble, and I was doing theater, and a lot of people, and I joined West Coast Ensemble, and a lot of people that were members of that theater company have gone on to do casting and directing. And, when you're in the theater company in LA, you have to do a little bit of everything. You're doing, tickets one night and painting scenery the next night, and then you're in the next show and da-da-da-da-da. So I did all of that. But, when you're young and fresh and green and, oh, my God, I'm in Hollywood, you just do what people tell you to do.
Yeah, you do everything.
You don't think about it. You just, because in your head, you're like, well, I'm going to be famous. I'm going to be a star. Someone's going to recognize. I mean, you just, you don't know. And I didn't have any mentors. I didn't have anybody out here who was really in theater that I could kind of shadow or anything like that. Excuse me. I was really out here just figuring it out all on my own, but I went to where people were doing what I wanted to do, and we just did it. So I don't know, I felt like I'm doing what I came out here to do.
Yeah.
So I don't know I'll tell you when I felt like I quote unquote made it, if there's such a thing, was when I got the series, when I was on Crowded. I was like, because to me in my head, I was like so many actors. I can't say every single actor in the world, but come on, that is a goal for most of us to be on a series. Yeah,
because of the stability, I'm sure. Yeah.
That. And so, when you get to that level, and I was, that was like many years after I moved here. Yeah. But it wasn't like you never know when it's coming. It's an audition just like any other day, unless you know someone personally that can write a role for you, but auditioning was as much as the part of the process as the work. The auditioning is the work. And so you're out there and you're in the theater and you're doing plays and you're having fun and you're meeting people and your resume is growing and you get your first agent. And, so I felt like I was in it from day one. Looking back, there are some days where I go, am I still in this? Am I, hi, hello? Later, that comes much, much later. But when you get a series, you think that's it. This is all I'm going to do now. Yeah. I've graduated, because there's levels. And they've changed the names of the levels. What's now a co-star used to be called an under 5. And before that, it was called a featured player. And it was also called a day player. Yeah. But now they call it co-star. So basically that means you probably have 5 lines or less. Yeah. You could very easily hit the cutting room floor. No fault of your own, but if they have to shave some time off, that's probably going to be where they do it.
You're the first one to go. Yeah.
Usually, right? And it's happened to all of us. Then there's guest stars, right? And then there's recurring guest stars. And then, of course, there's series regulars. Well, there's a lot of classes in this town that are scene study, how to get a guest star, even, how to get a series. All these gurus are teaching you what you need to do and how you need to network and market yourself and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But there's nothing for series regulars. When you have your series, the first one, there are no more classes. Yeah. Nobody can really, and even prior to that, no one can really teach you how to be a series regular. There's, you know what I mean? You're an actor. You go to an audition. You do the best job that you can. You might get cast in that series, and then you may not. There's only two choices: you get it or you don't. But if you've been doing the work all along, you know what to do. Like there's nothing after that. I mean, I'm talking about TV. Yeah. Of course, movie stars, commercials. I've done a ton of commercials. For me, commercials was always something extra. It's like me and improv. Like I don't really know what I'm doing, but okay. Oh, I'm on Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah. I was like, Larry David.
But wait, hold on. So. And so lately, that's been a lot of what I've been doing is commercials. And ironically, the auditions have been mostly in person. What do you know about that? Yeah. So it could be, that I've grown into some category. Because, again, these are the categories of the jobs. But then you, as an actor, performer, if you're in the industry long enough, you are moving through your own categories. You're growing into a different type. If you're in the business long enough, you may start out in your 20s. Like if I don't know what a guy's equivalent to an ingenue is. I guess a young leading man or a young, but then 10 years later, 15 years later, you're a young dad now, and then you're the grandfather. I mean, if you're in long enough, and you never know like where the bulk of your work is going to be at what point in your life. I've been in this industry for 4 decades now here in Hollywood. I started, dabbling in it much, much younger in New York. And in college I did this, but I always had the goal. I always had the dream to come here and be a working actor. And I did. And I am.
You are.
So I don't know if you asked me a question or if I'm just rambling again. But
you got to it well.
Yeah.
So one thing I'll ask is, I guess, related to kind of some of the philosophy I have around both improv and acting and performance, not performance in general, but improv and acting specifically. Something that one of my acting professors that I had in college, she once said this statement. Well, it's kind of 2 statements. Acting lessons are life lessons. And to me personally, I've evolved that to improv lessons are life lessons, because that's where I spend most of my time these days. I'm not doing too much acting. I'm just in the improv world. But thinking about your own experience and that question of, I guess, do you think that there are acting lessons that are life lessons? And if so, what have some of those lessons been for you?
I've never thought about that, actually. I'm just discovering I'm a bit of an introvert, which means I take more time to process things. So in about an hour, I'll probably have a really prophetic, profound answer to that question. But life lesson, I don't have an answer for that, because for me, it's all the same. Yeah. Like acting is my life. It has been my life, to the point where people would say, well, what are your hobbies? And I'd be, hobbies? What do I need a hobby for? Like, I'm doing what I enjoy. I love what I do for a living. I loved the pursuit of it.
Yeah.
So it was my life. So I don't have an answer for that question. I just never thought about, like, I don't have an answer. It's all just one thing. Yeah. But at the same time, I feel like there was my acting world, and there was, well, let me rephrase that. I feel when I was younger, it was all one thing, right? Acting. That is my life. That is my world. Who cares about lessons? I wasn't, I wasn't caring. It wasn't important life lessons. I'm just doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Now that I'm older, I was saying that when I was younger, it was all one thing. Acting was my life. That was it. That was the end all. That was the be all. I didn't need any hobbies. I didn't have any hobbies. I was doing what I wanted. That's it. Like, what else is there to life? But now that I'm older, like, and especially, I hate to keep harping on the self-tape thing,
no, don't worry.
I guess maybe it's because it's all in your home now. I feel like sometimes they're interrupting my life. It's like, what I'm doing, so I'm baking a cake. Why? I don't have time to do. So I don't know. I don't know what the life lessons are. I just, I don't know. I don't have an answer. You might want to cut that whole section out because I just don't. I mean, what about you? Do you feel like if you gave me an example, maybe it would trigger something?
Yeah.
Like, what life lessons have you maybe learned?
I think for me, if I were to say acting career was brief, very brief.
Okay.
I wouldn't say very successful. And I think a lot of that, if I look back at it now, in my early 20s, as came out of college, tried to go right into it, trying to audition, agent, all that business. Mm-hmm. Looking back, I think there's lessons I've learned now because of how things went. I look back in that a lot of the blame or like, oh, why didn't I stick with this? Or why wasn't I booking things is I can point the finger at myself. At the time I'd be like, oh, well, my agent's giving me crappy auditions, right? Mm-hmm. I don't want to be in a JCPenney catalog, whatever that is, mm-hmm. right? But I think it kind of goes back to some of what you were saying. It was like, every audition is an opportunity for a job, right? And every audition is an opportunity to market myself, to show up and say, hey, this is who I am. This is, what I do. Mm-hmm. This is what I bring to the table. And I think I took some audition opportunities for granted, and I didn't always take them seriously and prepare, right? And there's a missed opportunity that, life is so often about the locus of control, what you can control. I couldn't always control the auditions that were being sent my way, but I could control what I did to prepare for those auditions and my attitude in showing up for them. Mm-hmm. And that has an impact, right? You go into one audition with a casting director, maybe you don't get a job for this particular thing, but that casting director could remember you, right? Yeah. It's a small town. I mean, it's a big town, but it's a small town, right? Yep. Everybody knows everybody.
That's true.
And I think I was not always mindful of that. And now, that was coming up when I started all that, that was like 10 years ago, maybe. And, if I were to take a second crack at it, I think I'd want to have a lot more discipline in my approach and just a lot more gratitude. And, even though I was auditioning for like Facebook short films, just like
Facebook short.
Yeah, there's stuff I was like, funny. I don't think anybody's...
That's called a reel, Mike.
Yeah. See, this was before that existed.
I'm just kidding.
But it's, yeah,
I would say basically, just to, recite something that we've all heard. Yeah. Just never give up. I mean, that is a lesson in this industry. Never give up, you know, and even if you stopped or felt like, you didn't do a great job, you can always go back and, like you said, start all over again. Yeah. And I do know that when there are times where I feel like, oh my God, like, is this it? Because you don't never freaking know. Like, you don't, is this it? I think what can I be doing differently? What is it that I haven't done? What is it that I haven't tried? And I get back in the game. Like just before the holidays, I was feeling like, I don't know. You know, what am I doing? Where am I going? With my career? I'm not booking as much as I used to. And then I went on a dance event, a dance kind of like weekend retreat in
fun.
Houston. Yeah. And it was just fun. I didn't even tell anybody I was an actor. I didn't even mention it, but there were people who recognized me. And so
the Costco double take. Right?
Yeah, did that double take. And one actually said, do you do TV and film? And now she's going to become my voice coach.
Oh, wow.
And if she had not stopped me and said that to me, we would not have had the conversation, because I had heard her singing earlier. And I commented and I said, you have a beautiful voice. And so we started talking and we became Instagram friends. And so she's going to be, coaching me in the singing that I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
But I came back from that. And then I saw some friends that I hadn't seen in a really long time. And they took such good care of me. They came and got me at the hotel. We went out for dinners. I went over to their house. And this man, who the husband of the couple that I'm talking about, he was my mother's choir director in church. So I've known him for many, many, many years. So it's like family. And I got to go to his house and hear him play the organ and hear him play Happy Birthday to Me in person, where it's normally on the phone.
Yeah.
And I came back to LA before the fires with such a just joy and happy, like, wow, this is just life. This is just, I just had the best time, and it had nothing to do with a job. It had nothing to do with a career. Yeah. My career, I should say. Yeah. I was just, and I felt so much. So now I'm all like, my creative mind is going again. Yeah. What can I do now? I want to do something. I'm going to contact the coach, and I'm going to get back out there singing, and my confidence level rose, and I just said all that to say that to enjoy life. Like, when I was younger, it was all about the business, which is fine because it got me to that point. But now I'm in a different part of my life where it's like, okay, but there's more to it than that. And what if that didn't exist for whatever reason? Yeah. Whether I chose to retire, which I don't know if I would ever do. But I think about it more than I ever had. Yeah. Because you get older and you realize that there's, a big world out there. Yeah. And life is a lot of things.
Travel. Mm-hmm.
Travel. Oh, I love travel. I love it. I love cruises, especially. Yeah.
Well, and you got your start early on. You were on a cruise, right? Performing.
I know.
In your career.
I know.
So maybe that gave you a taste, right?
It did definitely give me a taste. I've been on cruise ships then. The first cruise I was talking about, I was a showgirl. I was young and skinny and had a great time. Was doing Folies Bergère and Black Broadway and da-da-da-da-da. And then many years went by, and I'm out here in California, and I started doing stand-up. And I ended up doing stand-up on cruises for a little while. Yeah. Yeah, so that was fun. And now I'm just a passenger. Yeah. And again, that's that whole thing about work, and now it's life. Like, first time on the cruises, I was working, young, having a ball. Yeah. Second time, working, doing something else. And now I just, for fun.
Along for the ride.
I will, I can be found at the karaoke lounge.
Good.
Anytime they do karaoke. But that's it. And, of course, with my hula hoop, I'm doing stuff. Yeah. I take videos all over the place. But, it's like I'm just having fun. I'm just enjoying life. Yeah. I'm not auditioning. Yeah. I'm not auditioning. I'm just having fun. Yeah.
So I want to open this up because you've given me a nice segue here. It's going to be a couple more questions for you, and then I think we'll wrap up.
Okay.
But looking ahead, right? It's January 2025. It's in its early stages. Ooh. It's off to an interesting start, let's say. Yeah. But we can be hopeful for the year ahead, right? So I want to ask you, thinking about maybe both in the category of fun, but also maybe professionally, what are some, not necessarily goals, but maybe objectives or things you hope to do or try in both those areas in this coming year?
Work and fun.
Yeah.
More travel.
More travel.
I have 2 trips planned already. I was already booked to go to Sweden in July for a dance camp. I told you I Lindy Hop.
Yes.
And I'm into swing music and all of that. And there's a dance camp called Harangue, which I've had my eye on for a while now. And I have some friends that have gone and they're going again. And I was like, that's it. I'm in. Yeah. I'm going.
Do it.
Then I ran into on YouTube someone who I have taken, who's been on another one of the cruises that I've taken. Last time was probably 2017. I travel with this particular group of people, not with them, but we all are on this cruise. That's the theme of the cruise. I don't want to get into it because it's very personal.
Yeah.
It's not swinging or anything like that, but it's. But although the reason why I say that is because I'm segueing way off the topic, but I went on a cruise where I feel like somebody was setting me up.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Because he wanted me to meet his friends.
Oh, no.
And when I met his friends, I was like, okay, anyway, I think they were swingers. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah. So I traveled with this particular group of people. One of the ladies happened to be a travel vlogger. We got to be good friends in Malta because we were visiting all the locations of Game of Thrones.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yes.
I would like to do that.
Well, we did that. And then I didn't see her because I don't know, I think she lives in Chicago or something like that. But just last week, she pops up on my YouTube page. And I was like, oh, girl, how you doing? You know? And she says, are you going on the Scandinavian cruise? And I was like, Scandinavian cruise? Because the company that I'm talking about, I thought they had stopped doing their cruises. But a lot of people stopped doing things because of COVID. Yeah. And they're starting to...
Yeah, they're ramping back up.
Ramp back up again. So I was like, oh, no, but I'm going to Sweden in July. So, and this is all typing, because you can't, on YouTube. Well, she planted the seed and I investigated, and the cruise ends in Amsterdam 3 days before I was supposed to be in Sweden. Okay, so you know what happened, right?
Yeah. You got to book it.
Yeah, exactly. So now I'm going on a Scandinavian cruise.
Oh, fantastic.
And then I'm going to Sweden for the dance camp.
There you go.
So that's fun. That's what I have planned for fun.
I love that.
I also have a little medical situation. I'm having knee surgery in March. So I hope to be healed for the trip, which I think I will be.
I think so too.
Because the knee thing really has been impeding my travel.
Yeah.
I can't do all the fun stuff that I want to do.
Travel's always walking, right?
Yes, and cobblestones.
Yeah, Europe.
The places I go have a lot of cobblestones.
Yeah.
So I really want to get that taken care of. So that's kind of a life thing.
Yeah.
And then the fun thing. And then career-wise, I definitely want to get back into the singing because I know that I can sing, but I want to build my confidence.
Yeah.
And I want to know how to command a live band. I want to know how to get up there and go, okay, Michael, give me, I Got Love in the key of A, and I want it like right here.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's my goal.
Yeah.
That's
pull up the bass.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm working.
Cool.
And I'm working on another project that I don't want to share.
Yeah, you don't have
just yet. But if everyone follows me on Instagram at Carlease Burke, I promise you, when things get rolling and I feel more confident, you will definitely see the project that I'm talking about.
Ooh. All right, we'll make sure we'll put a link to your Instagram in the description as well.
Yeah, it's in the very beginning stages. I was working on it with someone that I thought I had fired, but I don't know if they know that they've been fired. So the dilemma is like, okay, do I have the conversation or do I just let it go?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's where I am with that. But I have another opportunity to continue the project with someone else that I think is going to actually get me to my goal, if not closer. And it's a pretty big, I would say, undertaking.
All right. Well, I'm intrigued.
Yeah, I promise I'll let you know. I'll just call you and tell you.
Yeah. Sounds good. That sounds great to me, Carlease. All right. So my final question. Any last words you want to leave us with tonight before we conclude this episode? On life, on acting, on travel, on recipes, on Stephen King? Yeah.
My parting words, and this is, I used to do this little thing called Thursday Night Live on Instagram. And then I just got tired of it. It's just like,
sometimes you just get tired.
It's Thursday and okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's Thursday. I used to, my intro was, it's Thursday Night Live. Thursday Night Live. It's not Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's Thursday Night Live.
The drum comes in. Ooh, I like that.
So that was the beginning, and then we talk about all kinds of stuff. And then the ending, I wrote a little jingle at the end, and these are my parting words. It's time to go now. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you next week. The next time we speak, my friends. And remember, whether you're near or far, be a star where you are.
Thank you so much to Carlease Burke for coming on this week's episode of Improv for the Podcast. As always, if you want to see more of what Carlease is up to, you can find her on Instagram at Carlease Burke. Look for a link in the description of this episode, and tune in next time for another episode of Improv for the Podcast. But until then, see you next time. Improv for the Podcast was created by Matt Moore and Michael Lee Evans. Edited and produced by Michael Lee Evans. And finally, presented by Improv for the People. Interested in more IFTP? You can visit us at improvforthepeople.com or on our socials, such as Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. Remember, new episodes are released weekly. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next time.